everyone, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are having a lovely weekend. So the other day I asked you guys on Insta if you would want me to do a Q&A video, and since most of you said yes, I asked you to send in your questions to me, and a lot of you did send me like a lot of interesting questions. So I have picked 10 out of those and I am going to be answering those for you in today's video. So without any further ado, let's get started. So the first question I have is from Tanya, and Tanya says, what's your favorite Indian street food? Tanya, I love almost everything, like every street food that India has to offer, as long as it is vegetarian. But my favorite one has to be Golgappa. I cannot live with Golgappas. Like, I used to have Golgappa every day in the evening when I was in India, and I came here and we couldn't find those Golgappa stalls here. So obviously I had to learn how to make them, and I literally make Golgappas at home. Like, I get the Golgappa, like the Golgappa thing from the market, the Indian store. We get it from here, from the Indian store, but I make the masala and the pani myself. So that is like my desperation level. That is how much I love having Golgappas. So I do make Golgappas at home now, and I enjoy it because they are my favorite. Next question is by Rashmi. Rashmi asks, what would be the absolute worst name you could give your child? So I think the absolute worst name I could give my child would be naming him or her after like someone who wasn't good, like Hitler, or like someone who's known to be bad, like who was a bad figure in history or in the world's history. If I were to name my child after that, that would probably be the best or probably be the worst name ever. So yeah. Third question is by Payal, and Payal says, have you ever been in a physical fight? Actually, yes, Payal. I have got a younger brother, and while growing up, we were like cats and dogs. We would fight a lot, like physical fights. I would scratch him with my nails and he would hit me. I would hit him back, and since I was the elder one, I always win the fight. I used to win the fight, but yeah. So I've had a lot of physical fights with my brother. But now, I think now we have both grown up, and especially after my marriage, our bond has become like a different kind of a bond altogether. Like, now he is more of a son to me. Like, I treat him like he's my child, and he treats me as if I am his mother. And yeah, so there's no physical fight, but yeah, I still, like, we do fight, but we don't physically fight. Like, we don't wanna fight. So yeah, that's the thing. Next question is by Neha, and Neha says, what do you do when you get super angry? Okay, so when I get super angry, I don't intentionally do it, but it just starts happening. I start crying. Like, if I'm super angry, I'll be yelling and I'll be screaming and I'll be doing all of that, things that you do when you're angry, but uske saath I would start crying, and I hate this about myself. I have no idea why this happens to me, but when I'm super angry, tears just flow down my cheek. I have no idea why. So yeah, that's what I do, and I would definitely want to change that about myself, because then the other person thinks I am emotional, but I am angry. Like, I am not upset, I am angry. So yeah, that's what I do. Then the next question is by Pooja, and Pooja says, have you ever lived in a hostel? No, Pooja, I have actually never lived in a hostel, and for that matter, I've never actually lived apart from my family. Like, I've always had my schooling, I was a day scholar. day scholar, yeah. We used to call the hostelers and the day scholar. Like day scholars were the people who used to live with their parents, and you know, we would do come to the school up and down every day from our home. Whereas the hostelers would be living upstairs in the hostel. Like my school, I remember my school had a separate hostel building in the same campus. Like it was a huge school. So yeah. I have never lived in a hostel or never in a PG or anything of that sort. I have only been living away from my family since the time I got married, and I first used to live with my in-laws in India, and then I came here. So yeah. Next question is by Stuti, and Stuti says, when are you visiting India? I am coming very soon. I'm coming on Diwali, so that's November. I think Diwali is in the first week of November. So yeah, I'm coming very soon, Stuti. Next question is by Khushi. Khushi says, how different is life in Australia compared to India? Okay, so see, life here is, I would say, totally different. In India, you would have your family. Here, it's just me and my husband. So everything, you know, needs to be done, has to be done by us. Like it's just two of us and nobody else. So of course, there are a lot of perks as well. Like I would say, we have no pollution. First, like the best thing I could differentiate between Delhi and Australia is like Delhi was super polluted, and I know I'm coming in Diwali and it's going to be terrible then, but yeah. So that's the biggest thing that I feel like, you know, that Australia has the best. Like it definitely, I can feel the difference on my skin, on you know, just on me. Like every day I use the same face wash that I used to use in India, and while you know, removing my dirt and everything from the face every evening in India, my cotton pad would literally turn black, you know, because of all that pollution and everything. But here that doesn't happen, so I can actually see the difference you know, going on. So obviously we've got this, Australia is beautiful, like it's amazing. It's one of the best countries, I would say, to live in. But again, nothing, you know, comes with without something bad. Like if you have a lot of positives here, then you also have a lot of negatives. Like I don't get any help here. Like I don't have someone who comes and cleans my house for me, or wash my dishes, or wash my clothes, or you know, cook for me. Like in India, I never used to cook. I never had to clean my own house. I never had to do the dishes. So of course, like life is totally different, and I don't find Indian food as commonly as I would in India. I don't find any street food, but then I mean, it has its own perks as well. So yeah, life is different. Next question is by Kanika, and Kanika says, are you a good cook? Oh my goodness, I am a terrible cook. I am a terrible cook. I have no shame in saying that. I have never been interested in cooking. Like I was never into kitchen. Like my mom is an amazing cook. She makes like the yummiest dishes ever, and she can make actually anything. I remember she used to make momos and samosas and chaat and what not at home while we were growing up, and I was never into cooking, or I never, you know, was interested in it. So I think that is why I never liked doing it, and I still can't. I do it because no one else is going to come here and feed me every day. So I do cook, but I'm not a good cook, not at all. Next question is by Saloni. Saloni says, what is the one thing you can't stand watching or listening? Okay, I don't know what listening, but okay, if someone abuses in front of me, I can't stand by it. Like I don't like it. I don't like it. Like sometimes I can't say to the person, like they'll be using abusive words in a common, like in the common conversation, and I don't like it. But I can't say it to them sometimes, but sometimes I do. So yeah, I don't like listening to abusive words, and I don't like watching. I can't stand watching someone, okay, this is weird, someone who is brushing the teeth. I can't watch that person. I can't even watch myself while brushing. I've seen a lot of people have mirrors in front of their wash basin. Even I do have one, but I don't look into the mirror while brushing. It's just something very weird. Like I feel like puking. I can't stand someone who's brushing in front of me. I can't be watching them. So yeah, the last question is in fact by Preeti, and Preeti says, what's the best Wi-Fi name you have ever seen? Okay, so this was like where we used to live previously. Our neighbors had this weird Wi-Fi name, and then later on I thought it was very clever of them to name their Wi-Fi like this. So they named their Wi-Fi Virus. So if you tried connecting to it, it would say you are connecting to virus. That was weird, but that was again very clever of them. So yeah. And since this was the last question, there's just one question I want to take up here, and that's by my cousin sister, actually, Anushka. So Anushka said, Didi, do you remember how we used to learn dance from you? I still remember the steps. I do, Anushki. Okay, so this is the story, guys. Anushka is my baby cousin sister, and she used to come to my place, and I was a child too, okay? I wasn't a grown-up person by then, so we are talking about our childhood. And I used to take her to the kitchen. Like we had a huge kitchen back then, and we used to dance. Like I used to teach Anushka dance, every step and doing this and that. So that is what she has asked me, and I thought I have to answer this on the video. So yes, I totally remember that, Anushka, and those days were fun. I used to have a lot of fun. Anyway, so that was it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. I keep asking a lot of these fun video ideas and questions, and sometimes if I'm shopping, I do take your guys' advice on Insta as well. So make sure you follow me on Instagram, and of course, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go ahead, subscribe. It would mean the world to me, and let me know in the comment section what is your favorite street food. I really like the question by Tanya. So let me know in the comment section what is your favorite street food, and I will see you the next time. Bye.